If you keep stalling right at the edge of the thing that could change your life, shrinking the moment it starts to work, going quiet just before you'd be noticed, I want you to consider this. You're not avoiding success. You're afraid of being seen, and that's a far older, more human fear than anything to do with the work. We have a tidy story about why people self-sabotage. We say they're afraid of failure, or they don't want it badly enough, or they're just not disciplined. And so the advice is always the same. Try harder, want it more, push through. But there's a particular kind of person this never fits. The one who can do the hard work, who has the talent, who gets right up to the threshold of being recognized, and then, almost without noticing, pulls back. For that person, the problem was never the effort. The problem is what waits on the other side of the effort. Visibility. Being looked at, being known. And some part of them has decided that being seen is dangerous. Think of a deep-sea creature that has lived its whole life in the dark. Down there, in the pressure and the black, it's safe. Nothing can really find it. Then imagine it begins, slowly, to rise toward the light, toward the surface, toward being visible at last. And as it rises, the pressure it was built for starts to drop, and a panic sets in. Everything in its body screams that the light is wrong, that the surface is exposure, that the only safe place is back down in the dark when no one can see, so it dives again. Not because it can't swim up, because being seen feels like dying. That's what's happening when you sabotage the thing right before it lands. You're the creature rising toward the light, and the closer you get to being truly seen, the louder the old alarm sounds. Get back down. Stay small. Don't let them look at you. It feels like fear of success, but success is just the surface. What you're actually flinching from is the visibility that comes with it, the eyes, the attention, the terrifying possibility of being fully known and found wanting, or found, period. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call her Elena. Elena was wildly gifted, the kind of talented that made other people stop and stare, and every single time her work started to break through, something happened. She'd miss the deadline. She'd downplay the praise. She'd start a new project right when the last one was about to be noticed. She told herself she was just easily bored, just a perfectionist, just unlucky with timing. But the pattern was too perfect to be chance. She wasn't failing at the work. She was fleeing the spotlight the instant it swung toward her. What Elena finally uncovered was where the fear was born. As a child, being seen had never been safe. Standing out got her singled out, mocked, or resented. She'd learned, young and deep, that the people who got noticed got hurt, and the ones who stayed small stayed safe. So her whole nervous system had wired itself to dive back into the dark the moment the light got close. The breakthrough wasn't a productivity hack. It was the day she realized she wasn't lazy or self-destructive. She was a frightened kid who'd learned that visibility equals danger, still running the same program decades later. And once she could see the program, she could finally start to rewrite it. One small, terrifying act of letting herself be seen at a time. There's real science under this. The psychologist, Gay Hendricks, named something he called the upper limit problem. The idea that each of us carries an inner thermostat for how much success, joy, and visibility we believe we're allowed to have. When life starts to exceed that internal setting, we unconsciously do something to bring ourselves back down, pick a fight, get sick, make a careless mistake, sabotage the win. It isn't that we don't want the good thing, it's that the good thing pushes us past the level of exposure we feel safe at, and the thermostat kicks in to cool everything back down to familiar. The fear isn't of success itself, it's of living at a higher level of being seen than the old self ever believed it was allowed to. So if you keep pulling back at the threshold, here are 3 things I want you to understand about what's really going on. First, this is not a discipline problem, and treating it like one will only deepen the shame. You don't need to want it more or work harder. You're already working. What you need is to address the fear underneath the pattern, the part of you that believes being seen will get you hurt. You can't push through a fear you refuse to name. Second, the visibility that scares you is not the same threat it once was. The child who learned that standing out was dangerous was probably right back then in that room with those people. But you're not in that room anymore. The eyes on you now are not those eyes. Part of growing up is teaching your nervous system the difference between the old danger and the present moment, where being seen might actually be safe, and even good. Third, you raise the thermostat slowly by letting yourself be seen in small, survivable doses. You don't leap from the deep sea to the surface in one go. The pressure change would break you. You rise a little, let yourself be noticed in some small way, and discover you didn't die. Then, a little more. Each time you let the light reach you and survive it, your inner setting climbs, until one day, the level of visibility that used to feel like dying just feels like Tuesday. So stop calling yourself a self-saboteur and stop swearing you'll try harder next time. You were never avoiding success. You were a creature built for the dark, terrified of the light, diving back down every time it got close, not out of weakness, but out of an old and understandable fear of being seen. Marianne Williamson once wrote that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate, but that we're powerful beyond measure, that it's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. She understood that for some of us, the scariest thing in the world isn't failing. It's shining where everyone can see. So let yourself rise slowly toward the surface you were born to reach. Let one more person see you than yesterday, survive it, and then keep climbing. You were never afraid of the work, you were just afraid of the light. And the light, it turns out, was never the danger. It was only ever the place you were always meant to be.